Since Repair Clinic encourages you to perform this procedure safely, a warning icon will appear when you should use caution. For many convection gas range repairs, you will need to disassemble the appliance. Before you attempt this, be sure to unplug the power cord or shut off the power supply. You should shut off the gas supply as well. You will also need to pull the range away from the wall so you can access the rear of the appliance. To replace parts inside the oven, we recommend removing the oven door. Rotate both door hinge locks back. Partially close the door, then lift and pull the door towards you to remove. With the handle side down, set the door on a blanket. Slide out the oven racks for easier access to the bake and broil burner tube assemblies, as well as the convection fan assembly. To reach the bake burner, use a Phillips head screwdriver to unthread the 2 screws, securing the oven's bottom panel. Lift the panel up from the rear and pull forward to detach. To replace the burner tube, unthread the front and rear mounting screws, securing the tube. Disconnect the spark electrode wire, and you can fully remove the assembly. Use a 5/16" socket or nut driver to unthread the 2 screws to release the spark electrode. Prepare the new bake burner tube for installation by aligning the spark electrode and securing it with the screws. Confirm that the new tube's air shutter is open the same amount as the old shutter. Reconnect the spark electrode wire. Align the orifice in the hole in the burner tube. Position the tube. Then thread and tighten the screws to secure. Reinstall the bottom panel by aligning the front edge first. Thread the screws to secure. Slide the oven racks into place. Reinstall the oven door by inserting the door hinges into the hinge slots at a 45-degree angle. Lower the door to its fully open position, then rotate the hinge locks forward. To access the warming drawer components, you will need to fully detach the drawer assembly. You can do this by using pliers to bend the side rails outward, although this may require some effort. Reinstall the warming drawer assembly by aligning the slots in the assembly with the tabs on the side rails, then snap the assembly into position. To access the spark modules, oven temperature sensor, or the gas regulator valve, you'll need to remove the rear panels. Using the Phillips head screwdriver, unthread the 2 screws securing the lower rear access panel first. Lift the panel up and out to remove. Next, unthread the 3 screws to release the left side stop bracket. Repeat to detach the right side bracket. You can now lift the upper rear access panel up to remove. To replace the surface burner spark module, first note the orientation of the spark electrode wires connected to the module, then disconnect them. Now unthread the 2 mounting screws to release the old module. Align the new spark module on the back panel and thread the screws to secure. Connect the electrode wires to the appropriate terminals on the new module. If you need to access control panel components, open the oven door and use the Phillips head screwdriver to unthread the screws, securing the control panel's lower cover. Remove the cover. Pull off the 5 control knobs. Next, unthread the 2 screws securing the control panel to the frame. Detach the control panel to reach the display board, burner valves, and the spark switch wire harness. You should support the control panel to avoid straining the wires. To replace a burner valve, first slide off the appropriate gasket and spark switch from the valve. Use a 1/2-inch wrench to unthread the nut to release the gas supply tube from the valve. Use a short Phillips head screwdriver to unthread the screw to detach the clamping bracket, and you can remove the old burner valve. Install the new burner valve by aligning it on the manifold. Then position the clamping bracket and thread the screw to secure. Insert the gas supply tube and thread the nut. Be careful not to damage the tube by over-tightening the nut. Align the spark switch and snap it into place on the valve. Slide the gasket onto the valve stem. To reach the orifice holder assemblies, you'll need to remove the range's main top. To do this, first unthread the front bracket screws securing the top. Unthread the 2 screws underneath the rear corners of the top. Now lift off both grates. Remove all 5 burner caps and burner bases. Next, unthread the screws securing the orifice holders to the main top. With the screws unthreaded, you can lift off the top. To replace an orifice holder assembly, disconnect the appropriate spark electrode wire from the surface burner spark module. Unthread the nut to release the gas supply tube from the burner valve. You can now unthread the mounting screw to fully release the old orifice holder assembly. Install the new orifice holder assembly by aligning the holder on the top panel and threading the mounting screw to hold it in place. Connect the gas supply tube to the valve, then thread the nut to secure. Again, be careful not to over-tighten the nut. Connect the wire to the appropriate terminal on the spark module. Reinstall the upper rear access panel by hooking it on the tabs. Realign the two stop brackets and thread the screws to hold them in place. Reinstall the lower access panel by inserting the tabs in the slots first. Lower the panel and secure it with the screws. Continue the reassembly by positioning the main top on the frame so the spark electrodes protrude through the holes in the top. Confirm that the orifice holders are aligned, then thread and tighten the screws to secure the holders to the main top. Replace each burner base in its proper location by aligning the notch in the base with the spark electrode. Replace the burner caps. Reposition the grates. Thread the two rear screws to secure the main top. Replace the front bracket screws. Realign the control panel on the front brackets. Secure it with the screws. Replace the lower cover. Then thread the screws to secure. Realign the control knobs on the valve stems and push them into place. Note that the power burner control knob should be placed on the second stem from the left. With the reassembly complete, turn the gas supply back on and plug the power cord back in or restore the power supply. If you've replaced a burner valve or orifice assembly, you may need to adjust the flame height of the burner. You can do this by setting the burner to low, then remove the control knob and secure the burner valve stem with a pair of pliers. Using a 1/8 inch non-flared flathead screwdriver, rotate the adjustment screw inside the stem clockwise to decrease the flame height, and counterclockwise to increase the height of the flame. With the flame properly adjusted, the gas range should be ready for use.